Imagine standing on the battlefield, the ground trembling beneath your feet as cannonballs streak through the sky like meteors of doom, leaving destruction in their wake. This isn't a scene from a blockbuster movie, this was reality under the command of a man who transformed warfare with the power of artillery, Napoleon Bonaparte. Why did his enemies tremble at the mere roar of his cannons, and how did he unlock the secrets of artillery that made him nearly invincible? Stick around, and let's unravel the mystery together. In the annals of history, tales of war and conquest are woven with the names of great warriors and strategists, but few have left an indelible mark quite like Napoleon Bonaparte. Known for his tactical genius, indomitable spirit, and, of course, his iconic hat, Napoleon was a force that reshaped the very fabric of European warfare. But what was the secret weapon in his arsenal, the invisible hand that propelled him to victory after victory? Today, we dive deep into Napoleon's iron fist, the revolutionary French artillery tactics. As we embark on this journey through gunpowder smoke and echoing cannon roars, let's set the stage. The late 18th and early 19th centuries were a time of monumental upheaval. Revolutionary fervor swept through France, giving rise to radical ideas, not just in politics, but also on the battlefield. The French artillery, once a mere supplement to the infantry and cavalry, was on the cusp of becoming the queen of the battlefield. Before the herald of Napoleon's meteoric ascent to the annals of military legend, artillery, the behemoth of the battlefield, was often perceived as a cumbersome and unyielding beast. With its clunky mechanisms and ponderous movements, it lumbered across the war terrain, demonstrating power, no doubt, but lacking finesse and agility. It was a formidable force, akin to a sleeping giant, possessing latent strength yet seemingly untamed, awaiting the touch of a master to awaken its dormant prowess and unleash the tempest within. The pre-Napoleonic battlefield witnessed the artillery's limited glory, restrained by its very nature and by the narrow vision of military tacticians of the era. It was powerful, but its slumbering potential was shackled, its symphony of destruction muffled, and its dance of devastation clumsily choreographed. The true potential of this leviathan was yet to be recognized, its ability to shape destinies and carve the fate of empires still hidden in the shadows. Enter Napoleon, the young Corsican officer, whose name would soon echo through the valleys and hills of Europe, leaving a trail of both admiration and trepidation. With a sharp, analytical mind and an intuitive grasp of the intricacies of warfare, Napoleon perceived what remained elusive to many of his contemporaries, the untapped, boundless potential of artillery to not just participate in but to dictate the outcome of battles. Napoleon was not merely a commander, he was a visionary. His eyes saw beyond the apparent limitations, peering into the future of warfare, visualizing the artillery as a dynamic entity capable of versatility and adaptability. In his hands, the sleeping giant stirred, awakened to a new dawn of possibilities and potential. The cumbersome beast was tamed, refined, and redefined, evolving into a formidable force of precision and agility. What indeed was the secret ingredient that made Napoleon's approach to artillery not just innovative but utterly revolutionary, reshaping the very essence of warfare? The answer is multifaceted, a concoction of innovative tactics, organizational brilliance, and an unyielding, relentless spirit of adaptation and improvisation. Napoleon didn't just employ artillery, he embraced it, he molded it, turning it into a symphonic ensemble of destruction that played to his unique tune. One of the groundbreaking strategies that marked Napoleon's artillery tactics was the concept of massed artillery. This wasn't just about sheer numbers, it was a calculated strategy, a focused concentration of firepower designed to breach enemy lines, create unprecedented chaos, and carve a path of devastation. This approach transformed the battlefield into a living, breathing entity of disorder, paving the golden way for infantry and cavalry charges, allowing them to penetrate the heart of the enemy's defense with the precision of a surgeon's scalpel. But, the brilliance of Napoleon's artillery strategy was not confined to the overwhelming firepower. The true genius, the masterstroke of Napoleon's approach, lay in the unprecedented mobility he introduced to the artillery. He was the architect of the concept of flying artillery, a fleet of lighter, more agile cannons that could be swiftly repositioned, adapting and morphing to the ever-fluid, ever-changing dynamics of the battlefield. This innovation was a paradigm shift, a transformation that turned the artillery from a static, lumbering behemoth into a dynamic, versatile, and omnipresent weapon of war. This newfound mobility wasn't just a logistical advantage, it was a psychological weapon, a shadow that loomed over the enemy, unpredictable and omnipresent. The flying artillery brought a new dimension to warfare, keeping the adversaries on their toes, guessing, and second-guessing, as the cannons appeared, disappeared, and reappeared, like phantoms of destruction dancing on the battlefield. Napoleon's use of artillery transcended the boundaries of brute force. It was a manifestation of fine art, a sophisticated and delicate dance of strategy and tactics, where every move was measured, and every decision weighed. The battlefield was his canvas, and he, the master painter, used the terrain with an artist's touch, positioning his cannons on elevated grounds, utilizing every hill and every ridge to maximize the impact and reach of his artillery. He manipulated the geographical features with a craftsman's precision, turning every natural advantage into a strategic asset, every elevation into a towering fortress of firepower. The positioning wasn't just about maximizing range, it was about crafting a psychological high ground, a dominating presence that towered over the enemy, both physically and metaphorically. Through innovative tactics, organizational acumen, and a masterful understanding of terrain and adaptability, Napoleon turned artillery warfare into a symphonic masterpiece of destruction and conquest. His approach was not just a tactical evolution, it was a revolutionary leap, a reimagining of what artillery could achieve, and a realization of its untapped potential. The thundering roars of his cannons echoed across the landscapes of Europe, heralding a new era of warfare and etching his name in the annals of military greatness. But how did this symphony of destruction and this masterpiece of warfare resonate with the real protagonists of this epic, the soldiers, the men stationed behind the cannons, whose world was enveloped in the tumultuous echoes of gunpowder and fire? For these men, every day was a dance with destiny, every moment a brush with both peril and glory. Their lives were etched with the indelible marks of cannon roars, the air they breathed saturated with the acrid scent of smoke and the resonating thuds of artillery fire. The artillery crews serving under the command of Napoleon were far from ordinary soldiers, they were the artisans of warfare, the craftsmen of destruction. These men were the epitome of training and discipline, embodying a level of skill and dedication that transformed the art of loading and firing into a rhythmic dance of precision and speed. Their hands moved with the finesse of a craftsman, their eyes gleamed with the focus of a hawk, and their bodies moved in synchronized harmony, turning the act of artillery fire into a well-orchestrated ballet of power. Every cannon loaded, every fuse lit, and every trigger pulled was a testament to their relentless training and unwavering discipline. The pace at which they operated was a spectacle in itself, a rapid and unyielding rhythm that left the enemy gasping, scrambling, and with little time to gather their wits and retaliate. The enemy's awe and fear were as much a product of the firepower as they were of the breathtaking efficiency and coordination of Napoleon's artillery crews. These men were the heartbeat of Napoleon's artillery, the pulsating life force that breathed energy into the metal beasts and turned them into instruments of war. They were the unsung heroes, the shadow warriors whose sweat, toil, and valor turned Napoleon's visionary strategies and tactical masterstrokes into tangible realities on the battlefield. Without them, the cannons were just metal, without their touch, the artillery was just a dormant giant. Living in a world dominated by the elemental forces of fire and gunpowder, these artillerymen forged bonds of brotherhood and camaraderie. The shared experiences of battle, the collective rhythm of artillery fire, and the united purpose of victory turned them into a cohesive unit, a band of brothers whose fates were intertwined with the trajectories of the cannonballs they fired. Amidst the smoke and fire, the thundering roars and the tremors of the ground, these men found a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging. They were the cogs in the grand machine of Napoleon's war apparatus, the silent architects of his victories. The stories of these artillerymen, their tales of valor, sacrifice, and brotherhood, are the threads that weave the rich tapestry of Napoleon's military legend. They were the flesh and blood that gave life to the iron and steel of the artillery, the human spirit that animated the mechanical might of the cannons. The repercussions of Napoleon's iron fist were far-reaching, transcending the boundaries of the battlefield and echoing through the hallowed corridors of power across the European continent. The artillery was no longer just a collection of metal and gunpowder, it morphed into a formidable symbol of French military might and prowess. It became a psychological weapon of unparalleled impact, striking fear deep into the hearts of kings seated on their thrones and generals strategizing in their war rooms. The very sound of Napoleon's cannons, the rhythmic roars, and the resonating echoes, became synonymous with impending doom. The rumbling forewarned of a storm, a tempest of fire and metal that was on the verge of being unleashed. Every cannonball fired was a harbinger of destruction, every plume of smoke a prelude to the devastation that followed in its wake. Behind the veils of smoke and the resounding roars of the thundering cannons, there existed a method to the apparent madness, a symphony in the cacophony, a carefully orchestrated dance of death. Napoleon, the maestro of this grand orchestra, maintained centralized control, holding the reins firmly, yet he bestowed upon his subordinates a level of autonomy, allowing them the freedom to adapt, improvise, and execute. This delicate balance between central command and individual autonomy was the keystone that enabled swift decision-making, flexibility, and adaptability on the fluid and unpredictable canvas of war. The impact of Napoleon's innovative artillery tactics was not constrained to the immediate tactical level, it sent ripples across the vast strategic landscapes of his illustrious campaigns. The very nature of siege warfare underwent a transformation. Cities and fortresses, once deemed impregnable, fell to their knees, and empires, both old and new, were reshaped and molded under the relentless and unyielding barrage of his cannons. The walls that once stood tall crumbled, and the gates that once held firm were shattered, all under the watchful eyes of Napoleon and the thunderous roars of his artillery. As we reach the conclusion of this enlightening journey through the corridors of time, delving deep into the intricate secrets of Napoleon's iron fist, we are left standing in awe and profound respect for the visionary who transformed artillery into an unparalleled art form. Napoleon Bonaparte, the mastermind who recognized the dormant potential in the sleeping giant, breathed life into it, and wielded it as a brush to reshape the geopolitical canvas of the world. Napoleon's enduring legacy is etched, not just within the inked pages of history books or the hallowed halls of academia but ingrained in the very fabric of military strategy and tactics. His revolutionary and avant-garde approach to artillery stands as a monumental testament to his military genius, a harmonious symphony of destruction and creation that has left an indelible and everlasting mark on the landscapes of nations and the annals of history. The echoes of Napoleon's cannons still resonate across battlefields, the lessons from his strategies are still studied in military academies, and the tales of his victories and defeats continue to captivate the minds of scholars, historians, and enthusiasts alike. The man from Corsica, who rose to become an emperor, left behind footprints that have traversed time, influencing generations and shaping the dynamics of warfare. As we step back from the smoke-filled battlefields, away from the thundering roars of cannons and the strategic masterstrokes of Napoleon, we carry with us a treasure trove of insights, a deeper understanding of the man and the legend, and a renewed appreciation for the art of warfare. The journey we embarked on has been a dance with history, a symphony of tales from an era where gunpowder and steel sculpted the destinies of nations and men. If you've enjoyed this journey through time, delving into the secrets of Napoleon's iron fist, consider subscribing for more tales from the past, more explorations into the secrets of history, and more journeys into the minds of legends. Share your thoughts in the comments section, and until next time, keep the wheels of time turning.